Show me a salesperson that is struggling with their closing ratio, and I'll show you a salesperson that 90% of their presentation is verbal.
Hopefully by now we've explored so well and brought them along for the ride, we've made a friend. They trust me for sure. This doesn't mean you won't get a price objection. They just want the problem solved.
The client is buying you.
If you do what we've talked about in episode 1, 2, and 3 correctly, they will have a very hard time telling you no.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Wisdom of Wrench podcast. My name is Kevin Comerford, and we are in the middle of a 3-part series titled The Top 3 Sales Techniques to Increase Your Closure Ratio by 10 percentage points. So far, in episode 1, we talked about acting like a boss. It's a great episode. Go check it out. Second episode was Explore Like Columbus. This third one, we are pulling it all together to make sure that we connect like a magnet. Connect like a magnet, because if you connect like a magnet, the clients will have a very, very hard time saying no to you. And just like a magnet, we want to be very pull the client into us rather than pushy. Nobody likes a pushy salesperson. So why we want to be magnets is we want to pull them in towards us. I'm joined once again by a living legend, by the living legend, Alan Smith. If you want to hear all about Alan Smith, what he's meant to this industry, what he's meant to Morris Jenkins, what he's meant to me, go back to episode 1. We dig in big time on his credentials, and they're very, very special. His credentials are incredible, top in the country as an individual contributor, as an individual salesperson out there in the field, and now top in the country as the top sales leader at Morris Jenkins. It's all there on episode 1. Alan, welcome to the Wisdom of Wrench podcast once again.
Glad to be back.
We have had 2 awesome episodes. I came in to this series thinking this is going to be so powerful. It has exceeded my expectations, Alan. It really has. I can't even wait to get home and tell my wife how good it was. It's so good because she always asks me how was it, and it has been so good. And this episode, I think, how to connect like a magnet, how to bring everything that we've done so far all together. And I'd love you just to kind of bring us back, Alan, to what are the 3 things that we're looking to satisfy during a sales call? And then how does connect like a magnet apply to those 3 things we're looking to satisfy?
Yeah, no problem. Again, thanks for having me back. So, number 1, we need to understand that nobody took the time out of their busy life and busy day to have one of our salespeople, or whatever we want to call them, to talk about a new system if there wasn't some pain point there. This is not just a fun thing to do. I'm not going to get a quote on a roof next week because I'm just not. If I did, it's because I had a leak a while back and I need to satisfy that. There's some kind of pain point. Are you tracking with me? So we just need to understand that the people that call us out, there's something there. I promise. What we have to satisfy is that we show them that we're the right company and that we're the right person and that this is the right time. That's what they want to satisfy. Is Kevin Comerford the right dude? Is Service Champions the right company? And is today the day? Like, we have to satisfy those things. Okay? We also need to understand that people do business with people that they like, and they do business with people that they trust. It's critically important. They got to like you and they got to trust you. Okay. And so Be the boss. Like this was all about minimizing objections. Don't take any objections to the call with you. Don't be late. Don't dress sloppy. There's a whole bunch of things. These are little wins. These are little wins that everybody should be able to implement immediately, right? Number two, this is where the magic happens. Explore like Columbus. I love that you came up with that. Carolyn came up with that, right? I love it.
She did.
She's sharp. We can't miss anything. We have people that have invited us into their homes, and we need to do a thorough explore. And if we don't, then we need to go find a different job, because it's part of the responsibility. If we were going to talk about a new system for them, but we're not going to check the duct work or the lack of insulation or the things that may be going wrong with their home, we really haven't helped them out. So we want to explore. So I had a good time talking through that with you. Right? We want them to watch us work. Right? We talked about sitting at a bar instead of sitting at a table. I'm not talking about going to get drunk. I'm talking about having dinner at the bar, and you just watch the people behind their work. They work so hard. I love that. And anybody who's had a good worker at their home doing a project, you're probably thinking, dang, that's a hard worker. What else can I have that person do while he or she is here? Right? And so we want people to watch us work. And in order to do that, we kind of got to know what we're doing. We have to be competent, right? And so this was all kind of discovered in episode 2. And so, today what we're looking at is how to bring this home. We got to bring it back. We have to present what we found. We have to attract them like a magnet. And there's one more thing we got to satisfy, Kevin. We got to satisfy, is this the right company? Like, hopefully they like me. Hopefully they trust me, because I've showed them everything I've found, full transparency. I've not brought any objections to this game. I've closed them all. And then I found some pain that they didn't know about. And we've talked about it. And then I itched it and scratched it. And now they're saying, okay, this needs to be done. So like they know today's the day. But what we've not done is talked about our company. Okay. And so that needs to be done in this. That's part of closing the gap. Does that make sense? And we want to do that in this episode. We want to close that gap, and we want to educate them on the things that we found. So I'll give some highlights there. However you want to take lead on this is fine, but that's where we are, right?
That's where we are. Yep.
Okay. All right.
So what I heard you say is we're now coming back to the table, and we're going to briefly talk about the company.
Got to. We've got
maybe and you mentioned earlier when we were preparing for this that, you maybe want to talk about 2 or 3 things.
We've got to, right? We've got to do that, right? We got to sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying? Yeah. So we got to close that gap, right? Most of the friendship was gained during the explore step. Most of the questions that I had that were critically important, I've already asked as we were exploring and learning together. I took them guys along for the ride. We're friends now. We're like old cousins, and now we've reacquainted. And I just want to set a new agenda. Hey, thank you for the time. I appreciate you having me. Y'all have been the best hosts and hostesses in the whole wide world. I want to be respectful of your time, but I want to bring this home and show you how we can solve these issues. There has to be an agenda set. When you sit down at the proverbial table, which could be a couch, or you could be standing at their kitchen bar, we need to set an agenda. And it's important for them to know a little bit about the business. Okay. So Service Champions, you guys are open on Saturdays. I'm asking you, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
for sure. And Sundays. Yep.
People's Units breaks on Saturdays, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Your competitors aren't all open on Saturdays, are they?
No.
Yeah. So who is going to tell the customer that if you don't? Right.
Right.
So listen, at Morris Jenkins, we're open 7 days a week till midnight. And by gosh, that's going to happen. And we do that because most of the people that find out they have a problem, it happens when they get home from work after 5 in the middle of the night. And we don't want you to have to take off tomorrow to have our people come. So we're going to come anytime you need us, 7 days a week, all the way to midnight. Okay. So that was a feature benefit. I told you something about Morris Jenkins, and then I told you why it should matter to you. There has to be a so what, who cares? Does that make sense?
Beautiful. So powerful there, everybody. I just want to make sure you got that. That's mastery right there. The feature is the fact that we're open till midnight. The benefit is when do you think these units break down the most? And when are we going to come out to take? We do that, Mrs. Jones, because that's when these units break down, and then we're going to be there for you.
For sure.
Is that what I just heard?
Yeah,
I just want to break that down because that is so good.
It's critical. Yeah.
Feature benefit selling 101, right there.
Now we got to come up with, each company needs to come up with their own story. And it's got to be factual, but there got to be a so what, who cares? Okay.
Yeah.
Morris Jenkins, where I work for 26 years, has been in business since 1958. And I don't think anybody cares about that one bit. I don't.
Right.
But I could turn that around and say, Kevin, we've been in business since 1958. And I tell you that to tell you this, we're not going anywhere, pal. We're not going anywhere. Man, we're like the pillar of this community. And we'll be there for you when you need us. There's got to be a so what, who cares? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'm connecting with you like a magnet right now. You are slowly pulling me in because you're right. I don't care that you started in 1958. When you say, though, we're going to be here for you, we're going nowhere, there's connection. There's an emotional connection with me.
Absolutely. Listen, if we're talking about a pure flow system, dude, our installers here, I'm sure you got good ones. I know you do. These dudes here, they're craftsmen in the way that they build and fabricate the metal. The metal shop is hustling and bustling. It's an art that most people have lost. We're in a generation where most people don't know how to bend and break metal, but we got guys here that just build it and make it fit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, if this is a pure, that might be a valuable thing to say. I tell you that we make our own metal because you live in a unique house, and I want to be sure that everything is custom built to fit perfectly and flow perfectly, so you don't have mice and snake in your new duct system. Are you tracking with me? Like, there has to be a so what, who cares? But they need to satisfy that Service Champions or Morris Jenkins is the right company, and so I want to share them just a little bit. I've got to keep this brief. Want to be respectful of their time. Anything I share needs to have a reason in which I shared it, that it's important to them. And to take it to the next level, I want to use a picture because a picture's worth 1,000 words. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Picture's worth 1,000 words. And I'm not going to show a picture on my phone, Kevin, because my phone's in the truck. I'm going to get the biggest iPad I can afford, and I'm going to show them on that, right? Like, I just turned 48. You got a couple years on me, I think now, right?
Just a couple.
Yeah. But I'm losing my vision. I can't see. I've got glasses on my nightstand. I got glasses on my face right now. I got glasses all over the place. I can't see anymore. And so your customer, I don't want them to have to hold my phone and look at a picture or a video. That's not going to happen. That's not selling like a boss. Get a big screen in there. Show them a couple of pictures that's important to them. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
So what I'm hearing you say is show them pictures. So maybe you're going to show them a picture of Morris Jenkins University.
Sure.
That's a feature of Morris Jenkins. And then the benefit would be what?
Yeah, listen, we hire for character and we train for skill. There's so many bozos in these trucks doing HVAC in our town. So we hire the people with the highest character, which I know that's what you and Carolyn want in your home. Right? We hire for character. Right. We teach them the skill, and here's how we do this. And I would show them that. So when we come out at midnight, the guy's not drunk and he's not a loser. These are sharp freaking professionals. Trust them. There has to be a so what. There has to be this so what, who cares piece.
And that's the benefit.
Yeah.
The so what, who cares
benefit
is answered when you share with me the benefit of the university. I could care less. That you guys have a university. In fact, it's probably going to raise the price of my HVAC system until you say something like, you can be assured the person that comes out to your house is well-trained.
Yeah, we taught them the right way, not the fast way, not the wrong way. We taught them the right way, and we hired them for character. These people they've not just were in jail last year. These are good. There has to be if you're going to tell them about it, you need to tell them about it, show them a picture of it, and tell them why it's important to them. We're trying to close this gap on, is this the right company?
And you're pulling me in like a magnet.
Yeah. Okay. So we've explored. You've been with me a lot of the journey, but maybe you couldn't go with me a lot of places. Maybe you went with me through the crawl space, but Carolyn didn't, or vice versa. But now maybe I've got you both. Maybe you had to leave and she's there. I've got to have a story put together, and we got to relive these pain points or whatever we found. We got to relive it. Okay. So whatever pictures that I've captured along this journey, because I've been taking pictures, I'm going to get them on the tablet in a big screen so that I can show you. Okay. And if I've made a video and I've narrated, I'm going to get it on my iPad. Like I'm going to have a big screen where we can watch it together. And I'm not going to sit down and show you all your problems. I'm going to show you what a system is supposed to look like. And I'm going to draw this. My pen will be in my pocket. I'm going to draw. This is what a duct system should look like. When done this way, this is what we achieve. I've got some albums on my iPad where I can show them some pictures of the PureFlow systems, or maybe your video, Kevin, your PureFlow video. We've showed that in Charlotte. Your video. We were going to remake a new one, but yours is so good. We just play yours. Serious.
I love it. I love it.
So you got to show them what it's supposed to look like. Then you show them what they got, which is not good. Does that make sense? If they don't see what it's supposed to look like, they won't fully understand how bad theirs is.
So what you're saying is you've got to have some really nice pictures of what an after system looks like, what a PureFlow system looks like.
You do.
What it looks like, when it's
you got to navigate how do I get pictures from said camera to iPad or from phone to iPad or whatever? I've heard all the excuses in the world. The signal was bad out there, or I'm not allowed to airdrop anymore for whatever reasons from device to device. I don't know, but we got to overcome that, and we got to be able to present our findings at the table with Kevin and Carolyn. I've got to. I've got to show you what it's supposed to look like, and then I got to show you what you got. We're going to relive that pain.
Love it. Okay. And if I'm understanding correctly, you now are going to take them through their own home. After you show them what the system should look like, you're going to take them through your pictures that you saw. And what are you doing? Are you rebuilding the pain points that you already uncovered during the explore step? Did you talk about this stuff during the explore step to them, or did you leave it?
Good question. Listen, when you find something that's wrong, when you find a package unit on an older home that doesn't have a steel lintel across the penetration, you don't say, there's a problem, and you go get them and take them and show them. I'm building a case. It's like a lawyer. You're building a case. You're building a story. When I open a register and I look down in there and there ain't no flex and I'm looking into the crawl space, if you're there, we'll talk about it, but I'm not going to run and get you and show you that right now. I'm going to see what else I can find. I'm building a story. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Build a case. Before you go in to present, make sure you got your story in your head. This all works really great if you're with me the whole time. If we're discovering together this magic that's happened. But it's not always possible for people to be with us every step of the way. I get that. So we're going to build a case. Most 10-year-old systems didn't die because they got 10 years old. They died because they were installed wrong. Airflow was wrong. Drainage was not right. The size of the equipment was incorrect. It was oftentimes murdered. We can agree on that. So I don't want to go back and quote like for like. I want to figure out what's missing, what's wrong, why did it die after 10 years? The other guy's not going to talk about that, or gal.
So good. So good. And then you mentioned the reason you're doing this, Alan, and the reason you're connecting with them emotionally through these pictures. Because I'm a believer. I just want to say that I love what you said about pictures, Because show me a salesperson that is struggling with their closing ratio, and I'll show you a salesperson that 90% of their presentation is verbal.
Yeah.
What I've learned is you have to activate the client's other senses.
You got to get them involved.
Yes. And that includes getting, if I'm just talking all the time, which, my gosh, having been on many ride-alongs, and as a new salesperson, when I was there myself, diarrhea of the mouth, meaning my whole presentation was auditory.
Yeah.
And I was only activating hearing from my client. What I've learned is I've got to activate their visual through pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I got to activate their smell, which I love getting them in the attic, getting them under the crawl space. Now they're smelling. That smell in the attic, that smell in the crawl space, now it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Activating their touch. Give them something to hold on to. Give them a piece of copper piping so they see that we're going to replace their new copper line set, where most all other companies keep the existing line set. Give them a piece of copper that's nice and shiny so they can hold it. Why? To activate their touch.
Kevin, I've heard it said that a lot of different ways, and I'll probably get this wrong, but people remember about 20% of what they hear, right? About 40, 50% of what they see and read and hear all together. But if you include them in it, they remember 90% of that if they're involved. And so you don't just show them the duct board, hand them a piece of duct board. A piece of duct board was always in my briefcase.
Bingo.
Next level is bring in the plug you cut out of their duct board and let them hold their duct board. And then tell them your hands are going to itch later and you're going to be really mad at me, but this is important. You needed to know what your airflow is made out of. If you're on that level of friendship, they'll understand. All right. So, we gotta draw them in here. We got to bring it home. You are right. God give us 2 ears and 1 mouth. We should listen more than we talk. There should have been good questions with intentional pause for them to go back and forth. This is something I struggle with a lot. My wife, last night, you and I were on speakerphone. My wife said, you put a note on the computer not to cut Kevin off. You cut him off 3 times. Sorry for that. But,
you're so, you know what? You're so easy to like that I didn't even notice it.
It's good. So that's a true story, by the way. But you got to be a good listener. But this is time that you actually have to talk. You actually have to talk. And you got to talk through exactly what the system should look like. And this is exactly what yours looks like. And this is what we need to do to change it to make sure it's better and it lasts longer than 8 years next time.
Bingo. That third part right there, which is here's how we're going to solve it, is what I want to make sure we spend a little bit of time on. And I assume that it's with the products and services that Morris Jenkins offers. Here's how we're going to satisfy this problem.
Sure.
Yeah. I know that sounds kind of obvious, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's going to happen. We're going to talk about how we're going to solve the issue. If it's a system in the attic and they've had water issues, water in the pan, water not draining, water leak on the ceiling. We see this all summer. These things make a gallon of water an hour in an attic, right? This is a recipe for disaster, right? At least in North Carolina, that's how much water we're making. Man, we're going to go up there and build a platform, raise the system up, replace the drain pan, replace the drain line. Now the drain lines have tremendous pitch so the water don't back up in them and you'll never have to worry about it. Then we're going to put a safety switch in the pan. So if water gets in the pan, it shuts off. Then we're going to put a safety switch on the drain line. So if the drain line, we're going to have checks and balances for the checks and balances. And you show them all this when they've had water issues. Show them how you're going to solve it. You got to have good pictures. Drawing is critically important. You don't have to be a great artist, but there's just some relationship building that happens when I'm sharing something with you and I'm trying to draw it upside down on my notepad, the same one I've been carrying since I got there. This magic starts happening.
And like you said, if you only had one tool to walk into a house with, Alan, what would that be?
Be the notepad, for sure. Yeah. So
to let the client see let the client see that you're writing stuff down. I know we're kind of going back on episodes 1 and 2. It's worth it. Let the client see what you're writing down, and also to tell your story through drawing and pictures and
if you don't have
all that beautiful stuff.
If you don't have a good story about your company, that needs to happen now. Needs to happen now at the table. We got to close that gap. Right company, right guy, right time. Got to close that. Hopefully by now we've explored so well and brought them along for the ride. We've made a friend. Like that's already happened. We've made a friend. They trust me for sure. They've watched me work. This doesn't mean you won't get a price objection. It doesn't mean that. But I'm not going to lead with a whole bunch of discounts and crazy expensive financing that cripple the company. Like I'm not going there. They just want the problem solved. We charge what we have to do good work, and be in business tomorrow. That's really what we're doing here, right? If we discount the price, then I can't solve all these issues that you got. But if you do it right, you don't get a whole lot of that objection. You just don't.
Yeah, from the customer's perspective side, which I've been on pretty recently, as I'm hearing more and more things, or I'm hearing more and more features, or more history about the company, personally, I start to feel that tension start to build up, right? It's like, oh my gosh, he's telling me all these things that I'm going to have to fix. Like this is probably I'm looking at the rate sheet, I'm looking at that number in my head go higher and higher. What I also notice when it does get higher and higher, I can almost sense the tension in the salesperson as well. And then that really, really doesn't give me confidence in them nor the company. When you go through all these steps, what's your confidence level like when you're trying to close that sale, right? You built the trust, you did everything. At this point, do you feel any tension at all when you say, whatever the price may be, you guys can fill me in on what a price of something that may cause tension for somebody. But when you go through all these steps, do you have any tension? Is there anything holding you back from looking at this client in the eye and say, this is what it's going to cost?
I do not, and I never did, because I knew that we were going to deliver everything I promised. I knew that every issue they had was going to get solved. I never had that whatsoever. These little solves, like the return box that's filthy nasty, that maybe we want to build a new one or something, right? Or maybe there's a little bit of plenum that's just rotten and needs to be torn off and replaced. Man, I'd rather do that stuff for free to earn their business today than to go give them a whole bunch of money off the Linux 2-stage blah, blah, blah. Does it make sense? So I wasn't necessarily building the price through these things. A lot of this stuff we did for free and do for free. A lot of these little issues that we find we solve for free.
I want to stress, too, that the client is buying you. The client's buying Kevin. Or in this case, if Alan's the salesperson, the client's buying Alan. And so if I'm Alan, I'm giving my client my personal cell phone. So if for some reason a challenge came up, I can be the quarterback. I can cut through the BS and the bureaucracy way better than a client, even going through our main lines. Like we want the client to go through our main lines if that's the course they choose. However, I want them to call me. I can, because they're buying me, and feel confident that they're buying me, that I'm going to be the one that's going to help navigate if a challenge were to come up, which they do come up. Right, Alan?
They do. They do.
Yeah. But do you want the client? I just like to talk with that for a minute, because maybe there's a comfort advisor out there that's like, well, I just don't have as much confidence in my install team that maybe Alan does at Morris Jenkins. Well, remember, they're buying you too. They're buying you.
For sure.
If it's meant to be, it's up to me. I'm the one that's going to go to my general manager if I don't feel like this client is getting the level of service that they deserve.
Yeah, and I know, and you know, these presidents and these the wrench culture, and like we're not delivering a bad product, and our installers
Correct.
do deliver. We can make big promises as salespeople. The installers can do it. They're the best in this country. That is not our competition, though. Our competition can't deliver, but the wrench companies, we can. Like, we're the biggest, baddest around, right? Our installers can get it done.
I agree 100%.
And they're worth charging what we need to charge. 100% worth it without discounting.
And that's the belief that it takes that a salesperson has got to have. And then to answer your question, Andrew, if you believe that, you'll never have that anxiety, that concern as the ticket increases. Now we got to make it affordable for them,
Fact.
which is a whole different episode. And how we're going to present that price to the client. Are we going to present it? Am I going to present a big number like $36,000? No. I'm going to present it in a way that is very, very consumable and affordable to the client.
Absolutely.
It might be $223 per day. It might, which would be their financing payment.
Which we're going to
be
easy payment plan because financing.
Thank you. I just said the F word.
Yes,
thank God. Thank goodness for you. I need correction as well, Alan. Thank you. We're going to get them involved in some easy payment plans. And we may take their utility savings off those easy payment plans to get them a net investment, which I love that idea. So you can even get their payment down, as my buddy Paul Kelly always talks about, $4 to $5 per day.
Yeah.
Make it affordable for a client rather than laying out the $36,000.
Yeah, Paul did such a good job with Serena on the table close, just explaining that in depth. He's so good at that. That's a requirement. Like, that's a given that we have to make it affordable. What we're talking about today is making them do it today. A little different.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They're both equally important.
Yeah, you're right. It's what you said, Alan. It's satisfying the right now. That right company, right person, and the right time. And if you find that pain point, if you find that how that black snake got into their ductwork or got into their bathroom, or how those mice got into that living room, like you shared on episode 2, by the way, go back and listen to that. Holy cow, it's a game changer, life changer, in fact.
Yeah.
So much here, Alan. So much here. I'd love to wrap up episode 3, which is Connect Like a Magnet. Because right now, you've got these clients connected to you through showing them some pictures of your company, sharing feature and benefit, showing them what their system should look like, pictures, showing them what their system actually looks like through all the pictures you took on your Explorer, and then sharing with them what the solution is that Morris Jenkins, that Redcap, that Parker has to offer. All of these great wrench companies, showing them the products and services that satisfy that, and then making it affordable.
That's it. That's the keys.
We just did the recap right there, buddy. We just did the recap. Would you like to share anything before we close on this episode? Connect Like a Magnet.
If you do what we've talked about in episode 1, 2, and 3 correctly, they will have a very hard time telling you no.
Yeah. And they like you. It's hard for them to tell you no
When
if
they
they
like
like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to close out episode 3, which is Connect Like a Magnet. And this is also closing out the entire series where we've had 3 episodes. Episode 1, Act Like a Boss. Boy, did we have fun with that one. Episode 2, Explore Like Columbus. And episode 3, Connect Like a Magnet. Alan, would you just wrap up what are the 3 things that we need to make sure that we satisfy when we're on a sales call?
Okay. They're trying to satisfy, is this the right person standing in front of me? Is this the right company that I can trust? And is this the right time? Is today the day? We satisfy those things and we'll get a win.
Well, sales is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. Alan, from the time you started in 1999 all the way to 2025, I've watched your journey from across the country, have been always aware how Alan Smith has been doing.
Well, that's awesome.
I always wondered how the hell is he doubling what our salespeople are doing out here in California? How does he do that? Well, now we know. Now everyone knows. And what a gift. And what I love about you, Alan, is you're always looking to make your future bigger than your past. And that is the way that I am always looking to live my life. Whew. What a big 3-part series this is, baby. I said game changer, actually life changer. Alan, thank you. And here's to a bigger future.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Alan. That was a full-on masterclass. I know you just signed off, but I had to get this on record. I feel like I could go out right now and start my own company and just have everybody listen to the last 3 episodes, and I'd run a successful company. So I'm going to throw this out there.
Are we on?
We're still going.
I love it.
Yeah, we're still going.
I love that people are getting this.
I didn't want, I mean, I should have asked for permission, but I'm going to throw this challenge out there to everybody in Wrench. If you found value in this episode, please share it with a colleague. And then I want you to get with that colleague and just say, you know what? Let's go all in. Let's implement everything we heard on the last 3 episodes, and let's see who can do better. Now, whether or not that's okay within the company that you're at, I'm not sure exactly.
Yes, it is.
But a little friendly challenge to say, hey, I did the thing that Alan said. Look what happened last week. Listening to these podcasts is great. Checking them out in your truck is great. Going back, taking notes is great. Action takers are money makers. I want you to put these into action right now and start implementing the things that we just heard a living legend share on the last 3 episodes. Again, this is a full-on master class. You're not going to get this anywhere else. Use this information and literally change your life. That's my challenge to everybody in Wrench right now.
Bro, I'd love to hear the wins. Somebody goes out and finds some gold. I'd like to hear about it. Serious.
Yeah.
Share it on the channel. Share it on Spotify, on YouTube, within Wrench, wherever. Let us know what those wins are. We'll share those with Alan for sure if he doesn't see them. And that's how we're going to keep this thing going. That's how we're going to keep growing and we're going to keep getting better. Sorry to steal the line from you, but that's how we're going to build and make
Bigger
our future bigger than our past.
You can steal that anytime, baby. You can steal that anytime. Here's to a bigger future, gentlemen. Let's go.